project and the bigger the goal. And I'm trying to think of anything else. I think that's it. But can you guys see what I'd like to call that whole process I just walked you through is a structure for fulfillment.
Actually, the things you described there are most of the principles that I've read in terms of visualization. Stephen Covey says start at the end.
Yep.
Develop the end in mind and work backwards, and then get everyone involved. And then once you have that end, you develop a categorization. What are things that are long term, and what are things that are short term?
Yep.
And then things that are short term, you can take care of them immediately. But things that are long term, keep them in mind, and you make sure that you do not get distracted from long term goals.
I love it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's great. So I'll turn it over to Jason.
My name is Jason Page. I am the New York City Outreach Coordinator for a national organization called Generation Engage. I've got a sign-in sheet going around that actually can serve all three of us, and Mariah, if you guys can just pass that along, anybody that has a sign-in, it's right there with the contact thing. And I'll tell you a little bit about my organization. I've got a brochure here, our annual report, which tells a little bit about what we do. But basically, Generation Engage is a national nonprofit, nonpartisan organization. Who can tell me what nonpartisan means? Not you. Who? Okay.
Neither Democratic or Republican?
Neither Democrat nor Republican, exactly. Basically, after the 2004 election, the 2004 presidential election, the founders of my organization were really frustrated with the fact that the forces that are out there that are trying to get you to vote, I can think of Rock the Vote, I can think of Vote or Die, I can think of a lot of other initiatives that are trying to get you to vote. The founders of my organization were very frustrated with, one, they were not, they were spending millions of dollars to either negatively portray a certain candidate or party for the benefit of their own, so that's very partisan politics. They were also not sustained. They were disappearing after November, so after they get you to vote for a particular candidate or a particular initiative, then they disappear, and there's nothing to sustain the reason for voting and the ingredients of what encourages someone to get involved with the political process. And the third was that these campaigns were devoted, and I know that we're at Lehman College, and I thank Mariah for that, but a lot of these initiatives were focused on college campuses, focused on college kids, and as many of us know, it takes a lot of money to go to college. It takes a lot of resources, it takes a lot of support, especially if that is not a part of your family history. If you're the first person in your family to go to college, and there's nobody you might have the money, you might have the scholarships, but if there's nobody to help you every single day when you walk in the door to listen to you about the things that you're going through, if you don't have that support system, that could be a very alienating environment. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to primarily reach those people between the ages of 16 and 30 that traditionally do not have a four-year college education. Because the thought is, when you go to college, you have plenty of opportunities, like this building right here, to engage in dialogue and to learn about the issues that face you, to become active and to vote and to talk to elected officials directly, talk to each other about issues, and hear your own voice. And when you hear your own voice, you get stronger about these issues. You're able to just not erase the fear of speaking out and changing the world, basically is what we're talking about. Can we pass it over this way? The sign-in sheet? So basically, they were fed up with this, so they started an organization that is a sustained effort that's devoted to people that are not necessarily going to college, and that are promoting not only voting, but civic participation, which means volunteerism, which means going and writing op-ed pieces, writing to your elected officials, producing events, running for office yourself, reading the newspaper, just talking to your friend, opening up that dialogue. So the idea is just basically to encourage those between the ages of 16 and 30 to talk about these issues, so that by the time we all start voting, we come from an informed place. And so how do we do that? We organize several different initiatives. One of the ways that we do that, and you can look at this inside of my brochure, we hold what's called video conference events, where we will link 3 or 4 different locations to one event. So for instance, last night we were at an organization called Operation Hope in Harlem. It's a national organization that helps people find better ways to solve their financial problems, whether it's a mortgage or you're coming out of prison and you're looking to kind of reclaim your life with respects to housing and jobs. You're looking for student loans for college. You're just looking for a job for the summer. This is the type of place that can help you do that. We got together at Operation Hope, and in 3 other locations around the country, and through video conferencing technology, participating in a dialogue with the former Secretary of Labor, Robert Reich. Now, of course, when I mention that, it sounds like, you guys are like, that's really exciting, Jason. What's so exciting about talking to Robert Reich? Who is Robert Reich? Well, Robert Reich, not only is he 4 feet tall.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
He is the former Secretary of Labor under Bill Clinton. So his job consisted of everything from providing safe working environments for people all over the country to helping with the baseball strike when baseball went on strike in like 96 or
94.
94. Thank you. So his job is far-reaching, but it's all about protecting rights of workers. And if you can imagine, he's in the president's cabinet. The president doesn't come to the job with all of his knowledge of how to solve these problems. He appoints people that have expertise in labor and health, and all of these areas in education, so that they can inform his policy. And so this gentleman was very instrumental in leading Bill Clinton through his labor policy. So we had a conversation with him. Not only is that his history, but he also was heavily involved with establishing the stimulus package. Any of you guys pay your taxes or file your taxes this year?
Not yet.
Anybody heard about the stimulus package? Who said yeah? What can you tell me about the stimulus package?
It's like, if you file taxes, you get $600, and for every kid, you get 300.
That's essentially it. Yeah, basically it's a way that the United States government is trying to put money back into the economy. So you file your taxes because you pay 30% of your salary. You get a check for $600 back. Now, if I don't read the newspapers, but I go to work every day and I file my taxes, I get this check in the mail. What am I supposed to do with it? If I don't understand what's that? Oh, is it buzzing? If I don't understand what to do with that check, then I might either, okay, let me ask you this. Actually, let me ask you this. When you get that check, are you supposed to supposed to save it? Or are you supposed to spend it?
They want us to spend it, but
Why do they want you to spend it?
just put money back into the economy.
Put money back in the economy, right? You're spending money on
Stimulate.
stimulate.
Why they call it
The
stimulus package.
So that was one of the subjects that we talked about with him. As we asked him all sorts of other questions. As a I'm voting for the first time. What's the difference between the candidates when it comes to jobs? I'm 19 years old, I'm graduating from high school, or I'm in college, I'm looking for a job. So anyway, that's one of the things we do. Another thing that we do that we're starting are public service announcements. So I've got these up here, and I've also got this as a check off on the sign-in sheet. We're producing public service announcements about the 2008 election, issues that affect young voters around the 2008 election. What's the last day to register? I met a guy last night who turns 18 in August. Will he be able to vote? Well, if he registers by September, whatever, this date, he will be able to vote. So we're producing public service announcements. Public service announcements are basically 30-second spots that you might see on TV. Anybody heard of the more you read, the more you know? By reading to your kids? You see those commercials? What's that?
I love that.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
it's
like
funny,
a
but it's true. It's like,
Information commercial without a product.
Exactly.
That gives a message, a public service message.
we also show free films and have conversations with the directors and the producers. We have tours of City Hall, visits with elected officials in their offices, and small meetings with them as well. So to bring it back, I guess one of the things that I brought today to talk about cultivation.
Cultivation.
That's
yes.
my cultivation is ways that we're trying to get the message out. I think that my piece is more so about starting a dialogue, encouraging you to speak out on issues that concern you and find ways to find out more information about those issues and spread that knowledge around. One of the ways to do that is to get involved with Generation Engage. We've got a website that's in development, but we've got a video library with all of our events posted up. You can also comment on them. We're also starting a blog with support of some of our partnering organizations. And so basically the whole idea of my organization is to promote dialogue that will lead to action, as Veronique is speaking about. So that's my piece. I would love it if you guys could say your names, even though I'm not going to remember them, just so if we have questions